Hi YouTube, it's Kathy Michelle. I've been watching a lot of videos again, just keeping up on the COVID-19. And I am still hearing people and still watching videos of people who are comparing COVID-19 with the flu. What part of? You can't compare incomplete data with complete data. What part of that is so hard to understand? We know from decades of data collecting on the flu, we know what the death rate is on that. We know how people get sick. All of that, we have a pretty good idea. And so they know every year, okay, this is what to expect, here's what's coming, blah, 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 blah. With COVID-19, this is a new virus. We have maybe 2 to 3 months worth of data. We don't have decades. Why are people comparing 10, 20, 30 years worth of information and decades and numbers and figures? Even let's say they're comparing a last year figure to this. They're comparing something that mainly lasted about roughly 6 months. And they're taking that data and comparing it with figures that we have for 2 months. What part of that is not understood? You can't do that and get equal data and equal information. Right now, it's like the death rate of COVID-19 surpasses the flu by a bunch. I mean, a huge number. However, what is being hoped is that as the time goes on, that as all the figures at the end, when they get the complete picture, we all hope that 10%, 8, 9, 10% death rate is dropped way down, way, way, way down. That would be phenomenal. However, that isn't what it is right now. What makes COVID-19 so horrible? Why is everybody shutting down? Because with the flu, if you have one person with the flu, they might infect one other person. Let's say one just for poops and giggles. So the R naught is 1, and then that person infects 1, and then that person infects 1. So all the way down the line, you have what? 3, maybe 4 people infected? Do that with COVID-19, where it's been anywhere from at least 3. At least 3. Let's compare that. So you have 1, this person. They're going to infect 3. Now you have 4 people infected. And then those 3 people are going to infect 3 more. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 people. On and on and on and on. So you compare, so you're comparing 3 or 4 people to 13 people? You think that's equal? It's not equal. Nowhere near close. And so as it goes on, the numbers expand exponentially. This is a very contagious disease. Now, we're hoping that, again, does it mean it's extremely deadly? We don't know yet. The data isn't done. It's not complete. As of right now, it's deadly. It's very deadly. But in the entire scheme of things, when it's all over, maybe what the data is now, which is a death rate anywhere from 3% up to 10%, could be dropped down to 2%, maybe even 1.5%, which is still higher than the flu. And that, people, you have, understand. Just get it through your heads. You can't compare complete data, known data and figures, with something that is completely unknown and changes by the minute. Yesterday, the USA in total cases went from, like 85,000 up to 105,000. So if you're, comparing data, this, that, what, you can't. The data is ever changing. Same thing with around the world. The data is ever changing at the moment. Now, everyone's hope is that at the end of it all, that the death rate will be much lower than what it is now. However, that's not going to change the fact of how this spreads and how quickly it spreads. By, closed quarters, why is everybody being told to stay so far apart? Because it hangs in the air, that it carries on droplets. And if you're in a smaller room, it can become aerosolized. Aerosolization is a very virulent way to spread a disease. This can land on a surface and last anywhere from, depending on the surface, depending on the temperature, depending on the humidity, it can last for, a few hours up to days and days and days. And in a freezer, up to 2 years if it's super cold. So we know the data on the flu. They know what to do, how to get it in that. And I know people use the terms alive and dead in viruses, but we know viruses are not alive, so they're either active or inactive. So I'm going to use alive and inactive interchangeably, but I understand that viruses are not alive. They either are activated or inactivated. However, with the flu, they know what to do to inactivate that virus. We're still learning about COVID-19, and that virus, the inactivation of that virus varies completely, and by not only by country, but by surface, by temperature, by humidity. Again, people are comparing the flu numbers with COVID-19 numbers for a day that they had, and then they think they're comparing apples to apples, but they're not. You are comparing a steel beam to a blueberry muffin. Stop. The data is not complete. Your points are invalid. Everyone's points on this are invalid. And the best the scientific community can do is go, okay, today, here's where we stand. Right now, here's where we stand. And then pray for a better result. But there isn't a result yet. And I really hope that is what gets across to everyone, that all of these channels who keep trying to spout it's not as bad as the flu or it is equal to the flu, we don't know that yet. And right now, it's not the same as the flu. It is far worse than the flu by a lot. Not even just a little, but by a lot. I really hope that helps to explain this a little bit better, and that you understand that staying away from someone is extremely important. When you go out and you touch something, this is why they tell you wash your hands, because it can live on plastic up to 3 days. And you can be infected and then you won't know. Sometimes it can be 3 days where symptoms start, up to 21, 24, 30 days. And in between that time, you're going to go, what did I touch? What did I do? How did I get this? It takes a lot to track this one. With the flu, it's pretty much like, oh yeah, my kid brought it home from school and I was around him and I was taking care of him. But because we, subconsciously touch our face or whatever, it's easy at that point to go, oh, sheezy, I got it from my kid. But with this, tracking it is not always as easy. So I hope that's a little more, I hope I explained that a little better. And for those out there who do watch my channel, thank you. Thank you. And I really hope that you can help educate those in your circles to let them know that as of this point, when you hear people comparing this to the flu, please ignore it. You've got to ignore that because you can't. Again, flu data is complete. It's a 6-month period that the data was collected on, the entire 6-month period that the flu was active. And then they're comparing that with 2 months worth of data that is changing by the minute. And the exponential growth of COVID-19 is another thing that makes everybody go, whoa, step back, hold on. What are we in for? So if you're in a lockdown, please understand that it's for a good reason. Will something else terrible come of this? Who knows? With the governments around the world, it probably will. But that doesn't change what is happening with COVID-19. And that is what we all have to remember. Fight it when something else is trying to be done at your state level, at your city level. If they try to impose laws that you don't want, fight those, yes. But don't fight them trying to save your life right now. Doesn't make sense.